I am a Scrooge when it comes to things like this, but my Halloween-loving wife talks me into it. Turns out she was right. These things are actually really, really freaking cool. How's it going, chasers? I hope you're having a kick-ass week. I'm Jesse, and this is Still It. Okay, if you're a beer, wine, whiskey geek nerd, whatever you want to call it, people start to expect things of you, right? Like if you're turning up at a party, they expect you to bring something interesting. And if your wife is a Halloween-loving nutter and you're a distilling geek, you better bring your A game for Halloween beverages. Think of these beverages as being halfway between a souped-up liqueur and kind of a fancy bar shot. Yeah, they're sweet and they're quite strongly flavored, a little bit candy-ish, but the ABV is still super freaking high on them. All four recipes that I'm going to give you today make roughly 500 mils, but obviously you're going to be able to scale them up or down to whatever volume you want to make. And there are going to be recipes in the description in metric and, yes, freedom units. Oh, by the way, all of these drinks are themed. I mean, come on, it's Halloween. You gotta have a theme for these things. They are cringy, horrible, corny, dad joke kind of themes, but there's themes. So, recipe number one is called Gold Bullion. Who likes gold? Pirates. What do pirates drink? Rum. First drink is rum-based. The first thing you're going to need are suitable vessels to put this stuff into. I went with these guys here because they are completely glass, they display it well, and they look more like a early 2000s potion or something out of an RPG game on Xbox, rather than looking witchy or anything. But hey, your aesthetics are up to you. Into the bottle goes 60 mils of sugar syrup, and for all of these syrups, for all of these recipes, I'm using a simple syrup which is 1-to-1 water and sugar. Next up, we have 15 mils of key lime essence, followed by 20 mils of coconut essence. Rounding the essences out, we have 4 mils of pineapple essence. And lastly, the most important part, 400 mils of rum. I would very much suggest you using a dark, heavy, grungy, molasses-forward rum. I am using the historical pirate rum that I made in this video over here. In any case, give it a really good stir to make sure that sugar syrup has incorporated all the way through the mixture, and give it a taste to see if the balance is to your liking. Now's a great time to let you know that this video is sponsored by Olive Nation. I've been using their products for ages now, and over that time I've really come to trust them. Their range is absolutely mind-boggling, and the quality of the products has been really good as well. So if you would like to use exactly the same stuff that I'm using, you can go to olivenation.com. There's a link in the description down below. Obviously, if you want to use other essences, use whatever you like. That's totally fine. Just be aware that you might have to do some alterations and rebalancing for some of these recipes. Next up, we're going vampires, chocolate, cherry, blood, vodka, gory, but absolutely dripping with sexual innuendo is Red Fang. The most important part of this recipe, guys, and listen to me, you need to nail this. You have to get it right or nothing is going to work. It's going to be horrible. It needs exactly 69 mils of sugar syrup, as well as 12 mils of chocolate extract and 6 mils of black cherry SodaStream flavoring stuff. And lastly, but definitely not least, is 400 mils of totally not Smirnoff. This is my own vodka. It's proofed down to about 46%. You can use whatever vodka you like. For the next drink, I wanted to do something that was a little bit less foolishly themed and a little bit more kind of pivoting on the actual flavors in the drink. So for this one, we've got 30 mils of sugar syrup, followed by 3 mils of natural butterscotch flavoring and 18 mils of apple extract. For this drink, the booze is going to be an Irish whiskey, 450 mils of it. I'm using Jameson's, but if you're feeling a little bit fancy pants, I'd probably recommend Green Spot. By the way, guys, if you thought it was awkward to come home with a little bit of glitter on your shirt late at night, how do you think it's going to be when you literally start shitting the stuff? Anyway, the last drink is inspired by the martini. I haven't had a solid martini in far too long. It's too sweet to be a martini, but it is inspired by it. This is the Blue Moon. 40 mils of simple syrup followed by 60 mils of Blanco Vermouth. I haven't had this brand ever before. It was literally the only bottle the bottle store had. Kind of shocking. But there you have it. 10 mils of blueberry extract and 10 mils of mango extract. And of course, the gin. I'm going with 400 mils of a juniper forward, citrus forward gin that I made myself. Anything else that kind of fits that description is going to work wonderfully. So our drinks are all put together now. They're tasty, they are delicious. I will give you a quick tasting note at the end of the video so you kind of know what to expect. But the problem is they just look really freaking plain. And the answer to this is lustre dust or pearl dust. You can get this stuff from pretty much any cake shop retailer and of course Amazon. So there'll be links in the description down below. Now, honestly guys, for all of this stuff, I just kind of eyeballed it. I just kept putting a little bit in until it looked right. Obviously, if you're going to go that route, put less than you think you need, a lot less, and work your way up. You know, you can always put more in. Anyway, I'll give you rough estimates of exactly how much of what I put into what drink. The Gold Bullion got 1 teaspoon of sparkling gold lustre dust. The Red Fang got 1 teaspoon of red copper. Poison Apple got 3/4 teaspoon of green food powder along with 1 teaspoon of sparkling gold lustre dust. And Blue Moon got 1.5 teaspoons of blue sapphire pearl dust or lustre dust, whatever you want to call it. So like I said at the beginning, guys, I am a total Scrooge on this kind of stuff. I just don't really care about, you know, getting into and decorating holiday type things. It's not my jam. But even I have to admit that these things look freaking amazing. There's just something mesmerizing about them when you have an excuse to kind of do something goofy and know that you're not taking it serious, you know, like drinks for Halloween. The problem is, however, that the lustre dust settles out and just gets boring really quickly. So if you let this stuff sit, it'll just look like blue liquid or green liquid or whatever, you know, whatever color you're looking at. The answer to that is dry ice. If you drop about a teaspoon of dry ice into each bottle, it's going to sort of almost make it look like it's boiling. It's going to keep it moving subtly enough to keep the gold flecks, silver flecks moving around and creating patterns. And you get the wonderful advantage of having smoke. It's pretty cool. Now, ideally, guys, you want to serve these in quite a tall shot glass just so you can, you know, behold the wonderful nature of the drink. And don't take them too seriously. That's not the point of this video. That's not the point in drinks like this. The point in this sort of stuff is just to kind of goof off and have some fun. So with that being said, let's do a really quick tasting so I can let you know what each of these things kind of taste like and what hopefully you can come to expect. Decide which ones you like, which ones you want to make, and which ones you don't want to make. But before I do that, I need to say a huge thank you to the Patreons. Thank you so much, Patreons. I get to do silly ass stuff like this because of you, and I really do appreciate it. So thanks, guys. All right, team, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Dry ice in this sort of situation is generally pretty safe, but if you actually drink the solid dry ice, you can be in for a world of pain. Not just pain, but, you know, it's not good. So just make sure you're not drinking solid stuff. Normally, it's going to sink to the bottom of the glass. Normally, sometimes it doesn't. Be safe. Anyway, quick tasting notes on all of these. Wifey's stolen some of this. This is really freaking candy-like. In fact, she called it caramel candy, apple lollipop, something. I don't know. I'd never had one of those things before. She said that is exactly what it tastes like. I'll put one on screen when I figure out what they're actually called. But it tastes really like green apple and really like butterscotch, with a little bit of whiskey coming through on the back end and a bit of sweetness as well. It's absolutely delicious, very candy-like. All right, the Gold Bullion. I think this might be my favorite because it is the most like booze, the most like the original spirit out of all of them. It is very much rum forward. It still has quite a fair bit of punch. This is still well over 40% ABV, as is right now. But the lime and the coconut kind of undulate in the aftertaste for a really long time afterwards. That's very, very nice. All right. Cheers to the vampires out there. This, to me, is the most candy-like one. The chocolate essence does a wonderful job of actually tasting like chocolate. Not like a lot of these kind of things I've had before that just taste, I don't know, weird. When they are weird, they taste a little bit like coconut oil and cocoa powder mixed together. It's really odd. This doesn't taste like that at all. Really awesome chocolate flavor. Nice subtle hint of cherry underneath it. The vodka completely disappears into candy land, so it is very much a seductive kind of drink, I guess you would call it. It's all about these 69 mils, exactly 69 mils of simple syrup, I'm telling you guys. Anyway, on to the last one. This, I think, is my second favorite because it is the most cocktail-like of the bunch. It tastes like a sweeter gin martini with some really interesting blueberry, mango, fruity finish on the end. I don't know. I would alternate between the two. One of these. Anyway, there you have it, guys. I know this is kind of ridiculous, but I think if we are making spirits for ourselves, we should be allowed to experiment with them in wacky ways that we probably wouldn't do if we were buying the booze. So here we are, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Try these at home. Let me know what other crazy combinations you come up with. Drop a comment in the comment section down below to let me know what you do come up with. And give a chase in the craft, guys. Catch you next time. See ya.